University of North here we go. Yeah. So while you and I are on, I did send I asked we have
I think everybody's out enjoying the warm weather.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well. I like the warm temp.
Thank you.
And then
We're not going to be at the calls meeting. Sarah, I need to find out.
I don't know.
So now,
What?
so the names of the also a Jeremy. Yeah, because it was Barbara Max, so it's I know. I'm watching my watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get their deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But they started in the right.
So we may have to like buy that flight and come back to get there.
Yeah.
Now it's how much money that started, and I'm trying to think of what to call tonight.
With her, and she confirmed that she was going to be here.
It's busy down at the house. There.
Well, Kirsten, I think I'm gonna.
That's all right.
Put this up.
Stay cheap.
I know some of you are still getting your soup and sandwiches and salad, but I'm going to go ahead and start our meeting. So welcome to everyone and welcome to our guests today.
Need the mic.
Yeah, I suppose I should. That would be better. There we go. And then the people online can hear me as well. So welcome to everyone and to those of you who are joining us online. As you know, this is Peace Building and Conflict Prevention Month with Rotary. And this year celebrates the magic of Rotary. You jumped like that on me. And he's not aware of this yet, but Don Meyer is going to help us with the four-way test.
Happy. Happy to do that. Okay. Of all the things we think, say, or do, first, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun?
Thank you. Thank you for being spontaneous. And if I could all have you all stand and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Thank you. And Joseph today is going to provide us with the reflection.
Ladies and gentlemen, I recently realized that I owe all of you a thank you. Why should I thank you, you ask? Let me explain. I was born in Czechoslovakia. As a little boy, I saw and heard my dad listening to the radio. The station he sometimes listened to was strange, full of strange noises, whistling, hissing, grunting, gurgling, beeping. And sometimes even a human voice could be heard, though with difficulty. I am almost certain you never heard anything like it. The station was Radio Free Europe. The strange noises were jamming to make the station's broadcast impossible to listen to. Dad would explain to me what he was listening to and why, and he would also explain not to tell anyone about it. And I didn't tell anyone. He told me that during the Second World War, they listened to the foreign British broadcast of the BBC's in Czech on the radio made in 1940. This was strictly forbidden, and listening was punishable by death. Later, all video receivers had to be registered and authorities cut out the code for listening on short waves. But people listened anyway. I grew up in an unfree part of Europe, divided by the Iron Curtain. Listening to foreign radio in Czech language was a way to learn the truth and not to be dependent on propaganda. The Radio Free Europe station broadcast from Munich, Germany, almost all day long. I myself often listened to it on transistor radio receiver and tried to find a shortwave band where the jamming was as low as possible. Every day, at the end of the broadcast at 1 o'clock in the morning, there was a short announcement that the radio was funded by United States Congress. I also listened to the Voice of America station, which had several short sessions during the day. I remember well, for example, Ivan Medek's short and accurate reports from Vienna studio. On Sunday evening, the very popular Martin Czermak's notebook was broadcast. No politics or news. His notebook covered American life, from music to cars to bird watching. I also remember his last broadcast from a recording after his death, when from across the ocean he was saying goodbye to us, listeners. He died of cancer. After the World Revolution, the Czech broadcast of Free Europe and Voice of America ended. The studio of Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty itself moved to the Czech Republic, to Prague, and the broadcast and internet coverage are now directed to European countries still seeking freedom and to the countries of the former Soviet Union. Elon Musk recently said that Free Europe is not needed, that money can be saved. A few days later, I read an interview with two former editors of Radio Free Europe who broadcast from Munich, Germany in the 1970s and 1980s. To my surprise, Musk's statement didn't alarm them. They said that there were regular voices in US Congress calling for a reduction or even an end to funding for these stations. And it was at this point that I realized that you, the taxpayers through Congress, were making this free and uncensored broadcast possible. Believe me, this broadcast has been beneficial and important to me and to the people around me. Thank you for using your tax dollars to make this broadcast possible for Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, and Voice of America. Thank you.
Joseph. Okay.
Randy's online.
Oh. So, we are welcoming a new member today, but she is on Zoom with us, so we'll give her packet when she joins us at our next meeting. But let me tell you a little bit about Brandy. Brandy is originally from Montana, but moved to Rochester 6 years ago to be with her husband, who owned the Great Harvest bakeries. Brandy has a background in human resources, but took on a new role last year as the youth career planner with workforce development, and she works on site at the Rochester ALC. She has seen firsthand service-oriented leaders, and that is what she aspires to be. And the reason she wanted to join a service-oriented organization in the community. She could think of no better club to join than the Rotary Club of Rochester, and is excited to become a member. So, Brandy, you've been invited into Rotary because you are an outstanding person in the community and in your chosen walk of life. Thus, we welcome you into the membership of the Rotary Club of Rochester and the Fellowship of Rotary International throughout the world. The responsibilities of membership have already been explained to you, and your fellow Rotarians expect you to honor the principles for which Rotary stands. The motto of Rotary is service above self, and we commit it to the personal care of each Rotarian so that it may be respected and allowed to grow among those with whom we come into contact. So as a token of your commitment to the ideal, I'm going to be presenting to you the next time we see you at the meeting with a Rotary pin, which we ask you to wear. There's a code of ethics in the packet that I have here for you. In addition, there is a Rotary coin, and on the back of this Rotary coin is the 4-way test. And then there's also a Rotary sticker that you can use as you wish. So with that, we extend to you a warm welcome, and with it, the friendship of us all.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I meant to be on site, but I was helping a student and our meeting ran super late, so I couldn't make it. But thank you again so much for allowing me to become a member. I'm excited.
Excellent. And we're anxious to see you at one of the next meetings. So I'll make sure we have the packet of information and the pin and everything ready to go when you join us next.
Good.
Thank you. Okay. And thus far in our Happy Thoughts campaign, we have raised $479 for the club. And I'm going to hand this off to Frank along with the
Turning into an automatic. Here, Frank, let's do it. Okay. You know, John's already holding up $1 bills from all those, each money, but who had the extra dollar they want to kick off today? Otherwise, I'm going first, but I'd rather go later.
You know, Joseph has got one that he contributed to your right.
Here we go.
Right, and give 10s or 20s, you don't have $2.
I know. It could be 5s, 10s, and 20s. I'll swing over here. Lynn's got something to say.
Oh, yeah. My grandson Jackson's playing in the final game of the sections tonight for hockey. So,
Congrats.
Three members gave their $1.
Okay, that's a happy thought. 3 members gave their $1. That's all right.
So what is Joseph to your right?
There's Joseph. Okay.
Okay, so I'm happy to contribute $1 because outside, you know, there is blue sky and you can also have the night.
Excellent. Allie, I'm working my way over.
I'm giving happy bucks to all the Rotarians that put the tremendous number of hours of service and care and passion for the youth in our community. And I'm looking forward to hearing about the RYLA student today, especially. Thank you.
Excellent. Keep going, Oscar.
Thank you, Frank. I put $6 more to the $1 that's there because that makes 7. And tomorrow for Joseph, 7 planets are aligning. So look in the sky to see 7 planets that align.
You know,
I am very fortunate today. I'm sitting next to 2 great Rotarians. It's a pleasure to be here.
all right, I'm looking this way because I see Don, but I'm holding up dollars. Oh, even George Allen's got $1. I'll be over there in a second.
Oh, wait, I gotta take a picture.
That's for me. He's happy to see me. Is that great or what? Oh, well, I put the microphone.
Usually where dads give cashes to their children.
Don,
I know this is a little bit personal, but as of last Monday, thanks to my great urology team at Mayo, I am free of kidney stones, but.
I want to welcome our speaker today, Max Nelson. He's been a trooper for getting ready for this performance, and I'm just pleased to have him.
Thanks, Jen.
How about this table over here? Anybody? No? All right. Last but not least, I don't know if George has got the news yet, but I'm gonna become, I have my third grandchild on the way, and so I think it's like number 13 for great grandchildren, but that's official this week.
And my happy buck is my brother invited me to go ice fishing up on Lake Mille Lacs this weekend on this Saturday. I don't think I've been ice fishing 25 years or something like that. Just because it's not as warm as fishing normally is. But I'm excited to go. So thank you. So we have 3 birthdays that we're celebrating this month. Chuck, Karen, and Diane Ilstrup. And anniversaries, Allie, 28 years, Audrey, 24, Joseph, 16, and Tamsin, 9 years. So good news there. I have some great news about the Rochester Grants Committee. As you can see, we have met our goal of $3,000. We've been talking about this for a number of months. And I want to thank everyone who has contributed to this program this year. As you know, one of the projects that we are supporting this year is Crutches for Africa. And we have bins around the community. And I was, a picture was shared with me of one of the bins, and it's absolutely full to the gills, along with a wheelchair beside it. That was at the Dan Abrams Healthy Living Center. So it's working, and we're already collecting here in Rochester. We currently have 3 of the 4 bins placed. And I have a question to all of you. Do any of you have a place of business and would be willing to host one of our barrels? Think about it, and if you're able to do that, let me know, and we'll bring a barrel to you, and it has appropriate signage that tells people what it's all about. But consider that, because we'd really like to have. Yes, Ellen?
We have a barrel at the Rochester Athletic Club.
I don't know that we do.
Maybe we'll ask one of our members if they can look. I looked at all the different bandages and devices that help people when they have injuries. You do find people who go to the gym when they've got injuries, or they got injuries at the gym. But that would be a good location. I'm on my way over there in an hour. So
could you ask?
I'll find out.
And if they say yes, let me know, and we'll get that barrel delivered. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. A number of announcements to cover. Our 100th anniversary planning continues. The sponsorship effort produced tremendous results. We have 3 at the gold level, which is a $2,500 contribution. There's about 8 or 9 at the blue level, which is a $1,000 contribution, and another 8 or 9 that are at the sponsor level. So we have raised the funds that we were hoping to raise to have a wonderful gala that evening. John, did you have the guests? Because I think we have a couple of guests today. So Jeremy O'Hara is the associate director of 80 Degrees, an emergency youth homeless shelter. and he's the guest of our week. Introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, as you mentioned, Jeremy worked with 180 Degrees, which, as you guys may know, formerly Von Walding Shelter on the south side of town. Happy to be here and get to know some of you guys.
You ever consider joining a service club? We welcome you. All right, thank you. So, Stuart, I don't know if you want me to kind of take this. Oh, hang on. So in addition, we have the Channel One volunteer opportunities. It meets the fourth Monday of every month. The Rotary Making Peace Visible Conference is May 2nd through the 3rd. Jeremiah Cook for Kids program dates coming up May 20th and September 16th. And the Cradle to Career Education Summit fundraiser, Victoria's on March 23rd and Sorolina's on the 27th. And we have some cards associated with that on your table. So if you were able to help with that fundraiser, if you could please take one of those cards and maybe give one of those out to your friends. So now, Stuart, you had given us a new slide on the chamber activities. Do you want to take a second and discuss those?
Of course, Dave. Of course, hello, Rotary friends. Yeah, wanted to give a quick update. We've been building this relationship with the Chamber of Commerce and opportunity for us to network with other business leaders within Rochester. And also it's a great opportunity for us to recruit new members. Wanted to call out that there's regular opportunities to network through their AM Espresso and business after hours, so morning and afternoon opportunities. Those meet once a month. And then there's two great leadership professional development opportunities with the Women's Roundtable and the We Forum. And the Chamber has a steady set of content and events that they're doing, and two things to kind of call out in the months of April, which may be of interest to the group, is a workforce development forum on April 3rd, and then their annual visit to the Capitol, whereas a lot of our political leaders will be joining the Chamber. So a great opportunity to connect up in St. Paul. So those are events that are happening in the future. If you're interested in attending an event, let me know. And we're doing this in conjunction with the two other clubs. So great opportunity to network with our colleagues in the other clubs.
Excellent. And Stuart, I also have a couple of forms that are sitting out on all of the tables. Do you want to take a quick minute to discuss what those are and how people might interact?
Of course, of course. So the other item that we're looking for feedback from fellow Rotarians is for our Pulse survey. So you remember last year we asked for feedback and looking to get more of it. We want to better understand what's important for you and for membership. We want to help inform our recruitment process, and we want to improve your experience. So we have a survey. There's a paper version that Dave has and has been passing around. So you're more than welcome to complete the paper survey. You also got an email last week, and we'll follow up with an email this week and next week that you can click on the link in your email. And then the third option is you can take your phone out, and you probably can take a picture of that QR code and it'll go to the website. So 3 ways to fill out the survey. I think it's like 8 questions. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. And we would really appreciate the feedback to kind of inform 2025 and 2026 for Rotary. So thanks for taking the time and appreciate all the feedback. We'll share what we learned in April.
Excellent.
That's it, Dave.
Thank you. Hold there just a second. Yeah, this is very important to us, to the board, to all of you, to have direct feedback from all of our members to make sure we're providing the best program possible for you with Rotary. If there's things that you like, there's things that you don't like, if there are things that you wish we were doing or things that you wish we weren't doing, there's a comment section at the bottom of the survey to provide that additional information. For any of you who fill out the paper version today, if you could just hand them in at the desk as you leave today, I'll pick those up and get those to Stuart. So if you haven't been able to do it online, if you could do it today with the paper form, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you need pens, John, you had a couple of pens. Could we potentially bring a couple of those to the table, just in case somebody doesn't have a pen to fill it out with? That would be great. Then one last thing, and John, could I have you come up for just a moment? So last month, when we talked about Rotary anniversaries, you noted that one of our members had his 50th anniversary with Rotary, Mr. John Woodruff. And as you may also know, our club honors members that have been with our club for 50 years. And we propose them as honorary members going forward. So John joins two of our other existing members, LJ and Al DeVore. And now we have our third honorary member, John Woodruff. That was approved at the board yesterday. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for the know that much. You have to say something to the club. So,
Well, when I first joined Rotary, my dad said, I told him, I said, who wants to go to a meeting every Thursday? First, they have 2 years and 4 years, and then now I'm here. I love it. The meetings have all been different. And actually, this is kind of nice here now. I hope we get more members to come to support us and the VFW, so they're happy with us. Thank you.
yes,
Just to add, you have perfect attendance.
yes, not only 50 years, but 50 years of perfect attendance. There are very few Rotarians in the entire nation that can stand up to John with that record. So,
Well, I probably had 51 years, because when we sponsored the Riser Club, I went to their meeting every week for a year.
excellent. Well, congratulations, John. Okay, so I would ask Jan if she could join me. I think she has a speaker that she wants to introduce. And she's also going to tell us a little bit more about the Camp RYLA program.
Oh, I'll make this short and sweet, and then if there's time at the end, I will fill in with more information. But RYLA is the Loop Youth. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I thought that was 10 minutes.
No.
I thought we were down. All right.
Relax.
Here we go.
Plenty of time.
Okay, so that's 10 minutes back.
Okay.
So, RYLA is a youth organization. It's a youth camp, actually, that's held in April of every year. And the St. Paul organization, Rotary, is the one that coordinates it. It's held at a YMCA camp. And the program is designed to help build in and bloom leadership skills in kids that already have potential. And so they're sent with like-minded students to a community where they know no one. So suddenly they're faced, but it's sort of like going to college on a weekend. You know, they're moving into a facility that they don't know anyone. There's a lot of structure of what they want you to do, but many of the things they want you to do are fun and play. But they also do some service projects They talk about planning. They talk about planning for ways that you can improve your school or your community, even as a 10th grader or an 11th grader. That they want 10th or 11th graders so they have time to actually come back and use some of the skills that they've used. The Rotary has been very generous in supporting our students. We generally take one student from each high school to avoid the nepotism, I guess is the word that I would use, of people saying, well, I'd like you to take my grandson, which gets messy. So we've been working through the school to have them help us find the students. And we're looking for students that have potential, maybe haven't ever had the opportunity to take a program like this, and somebody who's got leadership qualities. We're telling them we're not looking for the scholars necessarily, we want the innovators. And it has turned out to be just a blast. So we're going to have Max tell you about the day-to-day. This year is the first year we've funded now so that we can take somebody from LC, the alternative school. Not all the schools have been active and participating, which is disappointing. And there's a lot of reasons for it, but a lot of it is just that they're too busy. And, it's hard to believe that, but I still. But the Rotary pays for all the expenses, all the transportation, all the support, all the training. And then last year we started offering a $20,000 scholarship to someone that goes to for the state of Minnesota. So they're trying to think sweeten the pot to make it more worth their time. Anyway, I want you to hear what Max thought about the trip. And so come on up. This is Max Nelson. He is a junior at
senior.
Yes.
Year later.
Okay.
I went last year.
That's right. So he is a senior at Lourdes High School, and I'm really pleased that you took the time to come to us, visit with us today.
Thanks, Jan. Happy to be here. All right, as Jan said, my name's Max Nelson. I'm a senior at Lourdes High School this year, and today I'm going to be talking to you about this camp. Can I get a raise of hands if anyone has heard a presentation by a past RYLA attendee? Anybody here? A couple. Okay, here and there. Okay. I just didn't know how much to go into detail. But anyways, Camp RYLA 2024. For the people who have heard about it before or know about it, go Red Bulls. It's our team shirt. We can get next. Okay, so first I'll start off with a little bit about what we do. So to explain the shirts, when you first arrive at the camp, you'll be sorted into a team group. There are 4 different colors. It was red, green, blue, and yellow for my year. And what did we do? So our first night, we got to meet our team members. We designed our shirts, as you can see on the far left there. And then we did an egg drop activity where we have to work with our group to create this protection where we take an egg and we wrap it up and then we throw it off a roof. And whoever's egg doesn't crack is a team that wins. So, a little bit of team building, a little bit of that competition right off the bat at the camp. I was definitely a little nervous going in. Like Jan said, you come in not knowing anyone else there. They take one person from each high school. So that means that, I don't know many people from Mayo or Century. I didn't know the other 3 who were riding up in the car with us. I certainly didn't know anyone else who was at the camp. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it actually turned out really great because by the end of the week, me and those people were having the best time ever. I still have all their contacts, and I'll tell you more about it in the next slide. Okay, so a couple more of the things that we did. Up on the left here, you can see it was called our team building day. So we did this activity that we can see here, where we try to like balance on the platform. There was another one where you need to swing across two platforms, and the rope was like just high enough where you couldn't like grab it with one person. So you had to like get on someone's shoulders and then grab it and then push it across. So those were to, build connections with the people around you. I don't have any pictures of them. Oh, little thing about the pictures. If you're looking for me in them, you will not find me. For some reason at the camps, they don't have someone do pictures each year. So they have some people take the stray pictures here and there that they have. So these are all strangers. I don't know these guys. But yeah, so we did those activities. Other activities we did throughout the week, and probably my favorite were the keynote speakers. We had a couple, or we had one about, it was like color personalities. So I remember it was blue, it was red, there was green, they're like the motivators and the team builders, making sure everyone's getting along, the yellow, those are the motivators. But they have basically this concept of people have different ways that they work within a group. And then we did that test ourselves and then had like our little stickers. I think it was primary green, secondary yellow. If anyone knows these colors, you'll understand what that means. But I thought that was like one of the best talks for me because I was like, wow, there are people inside of a group that work this certain way. And if I were to find like these different people with these colors, like our group would be like unstoppable. It was just a really cool concept for me. I loved learning about that, and I will keep that in mind for someday that I'm working in a team. We eat together every day. The meals weren't that great, but we went through hardships together. Another activity we were supposed to do during the week was go to, I can't remember if this is Feed My Starving Children or something similar, probably. But instead, we did all of that stuff at the camp. So, or we didn't do it with Feed My Starving Children, but instead we made these baskets of self-care supplies for a certain charity. I forget what it's called, but like soaps, toothbrush, toothpaste, we packed those all. And that was fun. And then probably my favorite part of the week in the bottom left here, obviously this isn't from the camp, but they didn't have a picture of it. So we did for the end of the week a business presentation. In this presentation, we were given a school that was not doing very well at all. And essentially they said, you with your color group, the Red Wolves, create a plan for this school to bring it success and not have as many problems as it has. So for example, there were kids smoking in the parking lots. There were a lot of things that they were spending money on that they didn't need to be. And it was like things like that. So it mixed not only teamwork, but also business strategizing, which was really awesome for me. I super enjoyed that part. Okay, so what did I learn? First up, meet and greet or wet the sheet. Now, what does that mean? So I say this because in this camp where everyone is a stranger, you need to be out there and meeting people and making connections, or else you won't enjoy the camp. I talk to people from other groups where they're like, I don't even know this kid's name. I feel like our team has no chemistry at all. As opposed to our team, where the first day we all knew each other's names, we were all hanging out in the times between. Our team, I mean, not to brag, but our team won almost every event there at that camp. I think there were 2 out of the 3. Our team won, and we were second for the other one. So I think that was mostly due to our teamwork and our cohesiveness and getting out of our comfort zones to meet and greet one another. And then like I said before, that color personality test, I learned about that. I'll definitely be using that in my next, team scenario. Third of all, I learned to ask for help. So there was this certain exercise in the team building day. We were out in the forest and we had just finished our last activity. And they said, here's where I got a little scared. They said, we're going to blindfold you and lead you through the forest blind. So we're like, oh, great. They blindfolded us all and they put us in a line. We're kind of like in that conga line formation. And they lead the first person, then they bring us to this area. And then they bring us to this line, this string attached to a tree. Maybe a couple of you have done this before, but we touch this string and they're like, what you're touching here is a rope. It is a rope maze. And you need to find the end of this maze. So we're like, oh, that's great. They said at any time, raise your hand and ask for help. So I go right, another group member goes left. We're going around for a bit. I, run into a couple trees, but, I'm walking slowly, so it doesn't hurt too bad. But then eventually I'm going along the string and I run into the person who's on the left, right? So we're going around, and we meet up. And I'm like, wait, why am I in front of you right now? I'm like, he's like, why are you in front of me? And we were so confused because we were like, well, isn't there supposed to be an exit to this maze? I mean, I knew I didn't take any turns. It was only a one-way path. And they were like, well, I only took one-way turns. So I was like, well, that's kind of strange. So I raised my hand and then I kid you not, they pull my arm down. They pull me to the side. They cover my mouth because they want you to be quiet. And here's why. Because the objective of the activity was to ask for help. The maze itself was a circle. So you would be going round and round and round. And it's an exercise to let go of your pride and understand when you need help. I thought that was just the most amazing idea. And I was pretty wowed when I got out of it and they're like, great job, you were the first one. So I thought that was really huge. And, I've carried that lesson with me. Sometimes we can't do it all alone and you gotta ask for help. Fourth, teamwork. Of course, throughout the whole week, teamwork was so important. So many team activities. I remember a fun one where we have a line of people and you take this big ball, those big yoga balls? It was one of those. So one person has to take the ball and then throw it on the ground and then jump over it. And the person behind them has to pick it up, put it over themselves, and then, along the line, under, over, under, over. The person in the last part of the line kicks the ball as far as they can, and then there's another team who's doing the same thing. So they all run over the ball, under, over, under, over. But that was a great teamwork one. Our team did end up losing that one, but it's all right. And then fifth of all, leadership camps, they work. I've never been to a leadership camp before, but this one was really great. I felt really empowered after it. And there is a really cool part about it that will soon come. Next. And the question, would I go again? Heck yeah, I would. It was a great time. Honestly, I have not experienced anything else like it. I am so thankful for getting the opportunity to be there. Like Jan was saying, there's only one person out of each high school in your high school. So what, it's like 300 kids. I was the one chosen out of the 300 kids at Lourdes High School that got to go to that camp. And, I just feel so lucky to be that person. So of course I would love to go again. They asked me to come back as a counselor. Unfortunately, I did decline because my school schedule, I'm missing at least 2 weeks of school for various events. I'm gonna be super behind. So I wish my best to my mates that I met the year before that were going back, and I'm sad that I can't go back this year. And here's the best part. Okay, who is this? She's 30, so well. This is Sally Boo. She was a speaker at the camp there at RYLA. She is the founder and CEO of Modern Wealth Partners. They are a what is it called? Retirement, like investing help. I don't know. I probably should have looked into this better, guys. But you know, she does really good things. And she was a speaker there at the camp. She kind of told people about her story. I really loved it. So I asked her to be my mentor. Yes, I have a mentorship class at school. They tell you can ask anybody to be your mentor. And I chose her. I sent her an email. Lo and behold, she sent something back. And she is now my official mentor for the rest of this school semester. So what we do is we do weekly calls. And we talk about the business that I want to start. It's super in the works. I warn you, if you ask me about it, I don't know. Figuring it out, it's in the works. But what we've talked about so far is like some business perspective. I don't know if anyone knows who Mr. Beast is. Mr. Beast. Yeah, okay. He's a young guy. Yeah, YouTube millionaire dude guy. But essentially, we watched his story and he was talking about his life. It's so busy. He's always working, but he's like super successful. So Sally and I were talking about, well, what kind of business owner do you want to be? What kind of success do you want to reach? We were talking about how if you worked every day, if you only slept 4 hours a night, if you went to bed at 4 a.m. every day, you could be Mr. Beast. But is that the life you want to live? And that was a really big question for me because when I always thought about business, I was like, oh, I gotta be always working, I gotta be always grinding, like it's gonna be just, exhausting, right? And building businesses, of course, right? It will be. But does it have to be exhausting to the point where you just hate your business and hate all the people around you? No. So it was just like a big switch for me, at least in my experience, because I've always wanted to try to start a business like that, but hearing about Sally's story, it just gave me that perspective. Like, you don't have to always be like grinding 24/7. You can have those happy moments. You can enjoy the journey too. And then in the future going forward, we're planning to build an investment portfolio, work more on that business plan. And then we're also thinking about attending a networking event that she'll be inviting me to soon. Oh, and then that up there, the What Did I Learn? You've seen that one before. I put that there because I feel like finding this membership was taking everything I learned at RYLA and bringing it to the real world. First up, meet and greet. So I reached out to Sally because I saw her as someone that could teach me a lot. I went out of my way to meet and greet her. On top of that, the asking for help. Well, I'm not going to start a business on my own. I need some help. So I asked Sally. Teamwork. We're a team now, and she devotes all her time for free, let me say, on the weekends, to call with me. And leadership camps work. Well, I'm now working with a very successful, very honest, very great person, business owner. And I wouldn't have been able to do that unless I had met her through the RYLA camp. So I can open-heartedly give all of my thanks to being at that camp. And last of all, I want to say thank you to all of you, because I heard the camp is for usual people like $500, $400. 500, Jan's like, oh yeah, I felt every penny. But it wouldn't have been possible without all of you guys from here at the Rotary. It was really, really a great experience. And thank you all for making it possible.
Let's take if there's any questions.
Yeah, if there are any questions at all.
Yeah.
I don't have a question, I have a comment.
Hang on. I will come to you, I promise.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. You are an outstanding speaker. You are going to go a long way. I taught in a college for 30 years. I've seen a lot of students of your age going forward. You are outstanding and continue with your excellent speaking abilities. You're gonna go along with.
Thank you.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Oh, I would add something to that too. It's actually a big goal of mine to get better at speaking. I remember so this is where it all started. In my freshman year of high school, we had this book talk that I was supposed to do on this book. I spoke a total of 14 words. I know the number before I stood at the front and just stayed completely silent for the next 5 minutes because that was a requirement. So since then, I've been forever scarred. But it inspired me. It inspired me to improve and really get good at this public speaking thing. I was supposed to take a video myself too. I told myself I want a video so I can look it up later, but I forgot. But next time.
This goes to YouTube, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done.
This will go on YouTube.
Oh, does it really? Oh, that's awesome.
We're projecting it to the other.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I'll ask you about that afterward. Okay. Yeah.
Max, thank you. Wonderful presentation. I totally agree with Suzanne too. You're gonna go a long way. I'm curious, what did you learn about Rotary at the camp?
That's a good question. I will be completely honest with you. I'm a little bit confused the relationship between Rotary and the RYLA camp. I didn't know if you could talk a little bit about that. What I do know, however, is that what do I know? Maybe I just let you go for it. Yeah.
Well, I can respond to that. I've been at other RYLA camps in the district in Iowa where I was the district governor. We would have Rotary volunteers come and help at the camps. And we would have speakers that would just talk briefly about what Rotary is. I'm just curious if you had anything like that here. Because one of the goals of these camps is not only build future leaders, but future Rotarians at the same time. So
I give them quite a talk about what Rotary is. We have, before they go to camp, we have a meeting of all the kids that are coming from Rochester and their parents. And so we talk about Rotary, then what it is, what the expectations are for behavior for the camp, how the transportation system is going to work, just to sort of get the same message to everyone at the same time.
Does the St. Paul Rotary Club that sponsors and helps organize this, do the students go back to St. Paul for their meeting as they have in past years?
Did you go into St. Paul to?
Yes.
Yes. So that's one of the public speaking opportunities that RYLA members have is they go to they're bused into St. Paul and have to do the presentation on the meeting day. So, we have these kids go and say, you're going to camp, bring camp clothes and dry shoes. Oh, and bring business casual clothes because you got to dress up to go to a nice luncheon, and a business luncheon. And so, we're setting some expectations early.
Max, when they ask.
Hey, hang on, I'll bring the mic there.
Okay.
We have a question over here first.
Thank you.
Max, could you repeat your colors again, but then what other colors challenged you that week?
What other colors challenged me? Well, as a green, if I remember this correctly, our strongest personalities are resolving conflicts and trying to meet everybody what they want to do. So as a green, I didn't really reach that many conflicts. Also, I feel like our group was just so friendly with one another. We had a couple of reds in there. They tend to be the strong-willed. They're unflinching and they don't really, come back or die down on their ideas. But I don't think in our group we had any challenges like that. Our team was spectacular.
The year before, we had a student that was a red. He was a red on the way up. When we drove him up, on the way back, it was so fun to listen to him talk about how he had learned that he needed to be less rigid because he was having a lot of trouble with that concept. And so they did some group activities where they put all reds together. And he said, we didn't get a darn thing done. I guess we can't all be leaders all the time. And I thought, what an opportunity to learn that when you're 16 instead of when you're 30, after you've gotten in trouble at work, you know, so they do build that back.
And Max, I'm just curious. So when you counsel, I assume as a counselor, I probably asked you to join, to be part of this RYLA camp. Did they have to twist your arm? Did you say, yes, I'll do it? Did you have to think about it? I mean, it sounds like you want to be a leader is what you're looking forward to do. So what was the thought process when they came up to you and said, we have this opportunity for you?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. It was almost an immediate yes. So a camp like this, getting to meet all different kinds of people that you've never met before, I feel like that is the best experience you can have. You're outside your comfort zone, you're meeting different perspectives of yours. And on top of that, the main purpose of the camp is to learn leadership. There's a luncheon where you're going to be able to have a public speaking opportunity. I was like, hands down, yes, of course. And well, if they picked me out of the whole grade, like I don't want to turn it down now, you know? So yes, I was pumped.
We did have a girl this year, or in Max's year, that was all set to go. And 2 days before the conference, she decided not to because she didn't want to go where she didn't know anyone. And we also had one of the counselors contacted me and said she thought it would be best if we sent a group of girls from her school so that they had their peer group to work together. And so that's counterintuitive to what we're trying to do here. And she said, have you ever worked with teenagers? Yeah. Trust me, just pick one that would survive being out of the pack for a couple of days. So there's a lot of tug and pull though. It's not so easy you got to find the right fit of the kid to go. It's not something that it's for everybody.
Do you have alternatives? In other words, when there was a vacancy last minute, was there someone who could take advantage of that?
Not 2 days or 3 days before. We usually have we ask the counselors to pick a person and an alternate. That gets pretty messy. I'm just saying, because you can't have a kid that may or may not get to go to camp.
Well, Max and Jan, I want to thank you very much for your presentation. Max, I want you to know that thanks for your presentation, we will be giving a donation to the Sports Mentorship Academy in your name. So thank you.
Wow. Thank you.
Thanks. All of the volunteers for our program today, John William as cashier and sergeant of arms, Joseph for your reflection, and Tersten for AV and tech support, and of course Max and Jen for their speaking today. So with that, please remember our theme, the magic of Rotary. That concludes our meeting today.
Good job.